Hello, and welcome to Soda Review Channel, where today we'll be drinking this caffeine-free Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola caffeine-free? I feel like they probably listed on the website as Coca-Cola caffeine-free. Delicious and refreshing. It does say Coke caffeine-free on the back here. I don't know why. They tend to put the small text on the back as Coke a lot of the time. Part of me wonders if they're doing it for copyright reasons so that they can say, oh, look, we're using this branding too. Even though they don't use it like anywhere else except when someone's talking about the product, because it's kind of weird to go around calling it a Coca-Cola all the time. Which is weird because that's what it's called. I don't know. Language is like that sometimes. This is, of course, pretty much identical to your typical everyday Coke, except they just didn't put the caffeine in it. We did determine somewhat reliably that that is the manufacturing process for this. When we were doing some research for caffeine-free Diet Coke and caffeine-free Coke Zero, or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, as it's formally known. Yeah. Once again, we have the relatively normal version of the logo, but with a bunch of gold in it. Coke uses gold for their caffeine-free branding. So the logo itself is gold, caffeine-free is gold. Even the text down here in the bottom that says delicious and refreshing in the 12 fluid ounces is gold. And a bunch of other stuff is too, but the bottom of the can and the can tab are silver. I don't know why they do it to the bottom of the can. I'm guessing it's a cost thing, but that is me guessing with no substantiation. The tab, I assume, is because they're manufactured separately, and it would cost more to color them. So also a cost thing. Although notably, the uncoated aluminum tabs are quite a bit more recyclable, is my understanding. I doubt that's why they're doing it, because companies have a suspicious habit of only doing things that are good for the environment when it costs less money. I'm not saying they did that. I'm just pointing out a trend. So, caffeine, very slightly bitter. So I mostly expect this to be like a normal Coke, but missing a slight bitter note that's probably going to make it sweeter, if I had to guess. So let's see if we get that. Mostly smells the same. Looks to pour pretty much the same. Still pretty much smells the same in the glass. And all this makes sense. This is pretty much the same thing. Sans, I think, about 3 milligrams of caffeine per fluid ounce. I want to say a 20-ounce bottle is 57 milligrams of caffeine, that is. So let's see what we've got here, taste-wise. It is similar, but I can tell. I did just have a Coke earlier today to prepare for this. Here's this one. And it has a very slight edge that this one does not. I'm also noticing this one appears to have lost its fizz a bit faster than usual. But that could easily just be a coincidence. I'm not sure that that's actually caused by the caffeine. Every drink fizzes just a little bit different. So the first thing that comes to my mind is, would I just drink this normally? And I think I would, but the only time I really see this is in whole cases on the soda aisle. And I don't really buy whole cases of drinks for myself, except to make YouTube videos about. I do pick up, one or two 20-ounce bottles on the way through checkout. Sometimes, not every time. And I do think that if the caffeine-free Coca-Cola here was right next to the regular 20-ounce bottles of original Coca-Cola, there's a solid chance I would get it a decent chunk of the time. Because caffeine's not like amazing for you, and it's pretty close, really. And also, I'm not really that affected by caffeine in my experience. Like, if I consume enough of it, I can, like, stay awake a bit longer. It has to be a lot. Just one or two drinks here and there, I don't really notice. I drank an energy drink once, and I didn't feel any different, but I also stayed awake and drove a really long way and wasn't tired or anything. But I also did that without the energy drink a few times, so it's not totally clear that that's the reason why. Um, Oddly enough, it was a Coca-Cola Energy when those briefly existed. I think they only briefly existed. But back to this. Yeah, I would drink this. I would even say that I would drink this in place of normal Coca-Cola. It is a little bit different. And flavor-wise, I do think it's a little bit worse. But I'm not here for the caffeine. I'm here for the flavor. And the flavor is pretty close. I think if I wasn't paying attention and you just brought me this and told me that it was a Coca-Cola, I would go, thanks, and go about my day. Because I'm paying attention, I do notice. especially if you brought it to me in a glass already. I would think maybe it was just slightly flat, like maybe you poured it out of a 2-liter bottle that's been opened a few times, because it is a little bit more subdued without that sort of edge on it. But I wouldn't be upset or anything. I would say it's fine. And I think if you're going to remove something uh, from something that has that in it, if you're going to remove an ingredient from something, that is, or replace it, they didn't in this case, but if we were referencing a diet soda, for example, I think if you're going to remove something from a soda and the result is this close, that's probably pretty good, because there is going to be some percentage of the population that cannot have whatever thing you remove. In this case, there are a number of medical conditions that basically prevent you from consuming caffeine without substantial consequences. And also, it's just not great for you. And also, if you drink it before bed, makes your sleep quality worse. They've studied that kind of a lot, like even a while before bed, like a surprisingly long time. Um, so yeah, we got a case of this because it's basically the only way it shows up, and I'm gonna drink the rest of that case, and I will not feel bad about it. Yeah, it's pretty good. Original Coca-Cola was the first video we did on the channel, and it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure that I gave it a rating of good. And I do think that this drink is worse. However, I don't think it's that much worse. And I do think that that's a really good thing for people who, for whatever reason, cannot or do not wish to consume caffeine. And and again, it's pretty close flavor wise, even if it is just a tiny bit worse. So I am also going to give Coca-Cola Caffeine Free a good.